Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. I have lots of opinions to share with you from a number of individuals, pretty much all chart analysts here, providing their thoughts on the current state of XRP's price and Bitcoin as well. So the one that I'll start with, once I get into the meat of things here for the video, there's an opinion from a chart analyst that says that despite the fact that there's likely going to be a short-term pump very soon, future's looking, quote, bleak. And so we shall see. There's a lot to consider when we're talking about that, though, including the degree to which XRP is being reactionary in regards to Bitcoin's price action. I've got a CNBC anchor who's publicly stating on CNBC that Bitcoin may be hitting $250,000 within the next few years or so. So he's jumping on the bandwagon, along with others that I've cited on the channel recently that are really for this concept, and they believe that the charts can back this up, that Bitcoin within the next few years or so should be hitting $250,000. Now, of course, if that happens, if humans still have not figured out that those cryptocurrencies that have utility and thus should have staying power, if by then people still haven't figured out which coins those are, then XRP, along with every other coin that is still alive to that point, will be worth substantially more. I'm willing to bet it would look like 2017 all over again. Not literally the same, because a lot of projects have died. Fair enough, but still, it would be kind of along those lines. But before I go any further, if you would please delicately tap that like button, and if you're a fan of Ripple and XRP, well, chances are you're highly intelligent and a super cool person. Go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel to prove it. All right, let's hop in right now. So, real quick, lightning fast recap. Market cap for the asset class is at $187 billion as I record this. Bitcoin's at $7,174. XRP's at 19.2 cents. And I'll tell you, the charts for Bitcoin on the screen now, and let's go to XRP, look strikingly similar. Not surprising. They're both just trading sideways more or less over the last 24 hours. Now, here's the first opinion from A&B crypto writer Akash Giramath. XRP's fractals indicate short-term pump to 21 cents. Long-term future looks bleak. And so I don't want to, again, it's like the purpose of it, when I put these videos together, I do this because I'm not aware of anybody else doing exactly this type of content. You can find all sorts of awesome chart analysts out there that have YouTube channels, and I think for most people, including me, because I'm just not a chart guy, I don't want to learn. I have no interest in learning also. You have to really sit through a lot of technical stuff just to get to the meat of the opinion, which is what you're looking for. So in a video like this, I sift through all this stuff for you, and I share the opinions in one spot so that you don't have to do that. You don't have to look up tons of articles. You don't have to listen to a bunch of different YouTubers. If you just want to understand their ultimately what they think the probability is of price for any cryptocurrency going one way or another, that's what this is. So I'm going to skip through most of this article and just kind of get straight to the conclusion. The short-term prospect of XRP looks bullish, with the formation of a price-volume gap allowing the price to ascend higher. Supporting this is the moving average, which has created a space for XRP to ascend to 21 cents at the very least. Long-term view of XRP looks bleak, as the price has tested the 17 to 18 cent range support twice within a month, indicating weakening support. The breakdown of which could literally spell disaster, as XRP will revisit the 2017 lows of 13 cents. Did you catch the problem with that, though? I'm going to point it out. He writes, the breakdown of which could literally spell disaster. No, figuratively. It could figuratively spell disaster. Get it right, damn it. All right, no, it's okay, though. So, and this is the way it is, though. And as it pertains to the price action for crypto, right now, utility, frankly, doesn't matter a whole lot. Not a lot. It really doesn't. And that's why, I always joke, Bitcoin could sneeze and the price could go up or down, flip a coin. Next, here's a piece titled Ripple's XRP Nears Crucial Support Level Against Bitcoin. And there's particularly one tweet in here I do want to run through with you. This is from Jacob Canfield. And here's what he tweeted out. A lot of people focus on XRP USD, but XRP BTC just recently broke the weekly 20 MA, moving average. It tried to hold it, but failed to this week. A key pivot level for XRP on the weekly is the 2350 zone. If this breaks and closes, I would look for potential support much lower. And he's been predicting lower XRP forever, though. I just hope for somebody like this, I just hope that it's not ideology of play. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt that it really is just what he sees in the charts here. But this particular analyst has been pretty negative in terms of XRP price action. On the flip side, though, I mean, XRP is at 19 cents today as I record this, so I don't know. Here's a piece from AB Crypto titled, Bitcoin may revisit 7,400 to 7,600 zone within the next 24 hours. Now, this one I wanted to highlight because I thought this might be fun, because we can track this pretty easily. This will stay in the forefront of our minds, presumably, or at least we're capable of retaining that particular information for a 24-hour window, right? And it's December 21st as I record this. Let's see if this happens. That would be interesting. Will it actually jump? Because again, it's under 7,200 as I record this. Is it going to go up to the $7,400 to $7,600 range? And so the price of Bitcoin fell to $6,500 range on December 18th. Soon thereafter, price saw a spontaneous rise to $7,400, a 15% pump in 10 hours. With longs hitting an all-time high on Bitfinex, this unexpected surge in Bitcoin's price saw huge liquidations of Bitcoin longs on BitMEX. Let me scroll down. I think there was something else I wanted to cover here. Yeah, here's the conclusion now, because I want to skip over all the technical jargon that almost 0% of people listening to this will understand, because it's trader, like it's for traders, and most of us are not traders. That's not like a jab against anyone about that. It's just, it is what it is. So here's the conclusion from this analyst. Short-term future for Bitcoin indicated a possible pump up to 7,400 in the next 24 hours. Further bullish momentum could push the price to 7,700. Long-term future for Bitcoin is still uncertain. There is a possibility that Bitcoin might undergo a short-term dump back to the $6,500 zone and push as high as $8,500, hitting the upper band of the descending channel. And I still think, and I'll tell you this too, before even reading the rest of the opinions I've lined up from chart analysts, a lot of them tend to think that it's still not out of the question to go in the lower direction. But regardless, another thing that I really want to point out, and I'm glad it just popped in my head, it's really fascinating to me, and I think that all of you in the XRP community, because I'm sure that's mostly who's listening, except for the occasional Bitcoin maxi troll, and you're welcome to stay here too, I still like you, even if you don't like me. Moon Lambo friendly. But I'll tell you what, it's interesting to me as an XRP community member that when there's these headlines about tremendous price action, and of course we all know, right? I've heard almost all of us would agree that Bitcoin's leading this. You still see in the world of crypto media, hop onto any crypto media website, and when there's price action, what are they talking about? Not exclusively, but largely, of course, Bitcoin, sure, and XRP. XRP, apparently, whatever it is, there's something about XRP that it's not just the XRP community. It's not just that. It's others in the world of crypto. They will click on those articles that have to do with the price action of XRP. And so it's got me wondering, why are they fixated on that if it's not even a project they're interested in? It's like, is it because they're threatened by it? Or, I mean, how are that many people interested to that degree? And of course, I'm surmising that there are that many people interested in it because it's not just one outlet. It's endless crypto media outlets that are putting the price action of XRP on display at the sometimes on a daily basis. It seems it's just fascinating to me. I just wanted to point it out because I was thinking about that before I recorded this video, and I'm glad I did remember to just mention it because I just find it interesting. If you guys have thoughts on why, I'd love to hear. Feel free to drop a comment below. All right, next from Daily Hodl, CNBC analyst: Bitcoin may hit $250,000. And it's got Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP forecast here. CNBC is analyzing recent bullish claims on the price of Bitcoin from billionaire venture capitalist Tim Draper. And by the way, I know I reported on the Draper part. This is new as far as a CNBC analyst, and I actually found his comments interesting, so listen up. Draper recently said Bitcoin will likely hit $250,000 for Bitcoin as early as next year and as late as 2023. According to CNBC trader and analyst Brian Kelly, Bitcoin's trend line since 2013 shows the leading cryptocurrency is on a long-term track toward Draper's big number. All right. Now here's the quote from CNBC trader Brian Kelly. It sounds bizarro, but it wouldn't be out of the realm of what Bitcoin has done in the past. That's why I wanted to bring up this chart. And to be clear, this is not my call, but I just want to take a look at what Bitcoin does. The chart we have here is a log chart of Bitcoin since 2013. And as Carter Worth will say, the lines draw themselves. You have this channel going all the way back to 2013, and it's traded nicely in that. If you go all the way here to the top of this channel, that's about $200,000 or $250,000. So if Bitcoin just stayed in this pattern, and this is normal analysis that people do on all asset classes, so not just crypto, the top of that channel is about $200,000 or $250,000. So that's the technicals behind it. And so conceptually, to me, it's interesting. It's like the number, you hear it on the surface and you're like, is this pulled out of thin air? Well, no, it still doesn't mean it's necessarily going to happen. And to be clear, I don't make price predictions. I'm not offering financial advice. I have no financial background. I'm just sharing a bunch of opinions from chart analysts in this video. Anyway, Kelly says the prediction depends on whether Bitcoin emerges as a digital alternative to gold. If Bitcoin hits the big price target, Kelly points out it will have achieved half of gold's market cap. And that still, by the way, can happen. I still question the longevity of Bitcoin as a cryptocurrency, but who knows? It comes down to utility. If it gets used for something, then I'm all on board for the staying power of Bitcoin if that happens. But anyway, so here's another quote from the CNBC host. The fundamentals, let's call it, is that Bitcoin were at if Bitcoin were at $250,000, that would be about $4.5 trillion market cap, which would be half the market cap of all the gold in the world. So I think Tim Draper thinks, and I certainly have some of this view, is that Bitcoin is going to take market share from gold. So if you think in 2 years it can take 50% of that market share, then that prediction isn't too far out of whack. Well, the concept of gold's market cap being cut in half is nonsensical to me, but I don't think that just in the way, because again, I'm not going to get into this video, it's way outside the scope of this video, but if you understand that the amount of cash that enters the crypto ecosphere, if you will, ecosystem, the amount that would have to enter the space to get any cryptocurrency valued in the trillions in terms of market cap, it's not that much money. So it's not that it's some other asset class or anything. I don't care if you're talking about in terms of dollars or real estate or gold or whatever it is. It's not that it has to be siphoned off from that. It's that new value, new wealth can be created just out of nothing. And all wealth was created out of nothing. Think about it. When there were two people on the planet, like when did this? I don't need to go back that far. That's stupid. But think about it. When did people start, with the concept of money in the first place? Many years ago. And I'm just saying. I feel like I'm about to get too far off. I kind of want to rant about other stuff right now, but it's outside the scope of the video. But suffice it to say, the initial point that I was trying to make when I went down that path, before I started to get too far off track, it's just that in terms of the valuation of the cryptocurrency asset class, whether it's Bitcoin or XRP and those coins, because there are some that I think are going to be valued in the trillions, if I had to guess. When this is all said and done, it doesn't mean that money was siphoned off from somewhere else. Just understand that if you understand how market cap works, not that much money has to flow in to have money valued or any particular asset valued in the trillions. Next, here's a tweet from Patty Stash, who writes this: My crypto market analogy. Crypto bubble bursting in 2017 was like a massive fire destroying all. After the fire's out, winds carry fresh nutrient back to the soil. Now, we're just starting to see small saplings poke through surface of the soil to one day become a forest again. And so that's why I think that the comparison I made in another video that I recently put out of just like the .com boom and burst, how you had like Amazon go from whatever, just $75 down to like $5 or whatever it was. You really, and that's why I think it parallels so perfectly. And then it just, from there, everything sprouted. To go along with this analogy, it just sprouted, and there's the forest again. So I'm for it. I think that's the phase that we're likely in here. Now here's an analysis from chart analyst Josh Rager. Feeling bullish after that $1,000 move? Zoom out, and you'll see prices still very much in a downtrend. He's talking about Bitcoin here. It needs to break/hold above $7,950 to $8,000 for any talk of a potential reversal. Break previous low and likely head under $6,000, where 5,300 area is a promising place for buyers. So he still thinks that it's most certainly in the cards. And he's not the only chart analyst. I think he's the only one in this particular video, but others still hold this opinion. They're just not reporting it the same thing on a daily basis necessarily, which is why I didn't highlight the rest of them. There are tons of chart analysts out there that think that this is highly probable that Bitcoin goes down to this level. And if that does happen, I don't want the price of XRP to go low, but look, it's going to if this happens, but it's not a permanent thing either. And again, not financial advice, period. Don't buy or sell because of me anything. But my personal opinion is that even if that happens, it's not like it's the end of days here. I think that all the price actions that's happened since the inception of XRP has almost 0% to do with utility. And so the fact that it could go from being non-existent to years later worth almost $4 each, that's mind-blowing. And so if that can happen with zero utility and we see actual utility happen, just think down the road, what might that look like? All right, last here, this is a tweet from the Stock Supremacy, who tagged me along with some others in the XRP community, and has a chart on the screen here and shared an opinion, so I thought I'd highlight this. Shout out to you, good sir. Thanks for tagging me. And this is the first time I've highlighted this individual's analysis on the channel here. And he writes this: my algo shows that XRP needs to push a little higher to carry this momentum. Comment, DM, or check out my profile for any info on my algo. And I'll just pull it up full screen. So here's the one that he's talking about right here. And so he didn't share an opinion on which direction he thinks is more probable, but I can tell you again that most chart analysts I'm following think it's more likely to go to the downside in the short term. This doesn't mean it will happen. And these chart analysts are not all just making price predictions. It's because understand technical analysis, it's more so about probability of outcomes, not so much price predictions per se. But I'd love to hear from you what you think. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!